Hi, I'm Matt.
Hey there, I'm Bianca.
And in this episode, we're talking to Dave and Morgan, an amazing lifestyle couple.
We're also going to talk about the fact that they run the 101 classes, so stay tuned.
This is exciting. We actually have guests.
I know, I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've actually been with other people in rooms.
Yes.
So this is Dave and Morgan.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thanks. We're excited.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for being brave enough to be on the YouTubes. So,
Yes.
My debut on
people watch these, so it's exciting when we actually get couples that are brave enough to come on here and kind of
Share their
out
stories
themselves.
and-
No.
Yeah, well,
So-
we love seeing them, so we thought it's
Sure.
only fair if we watch
We've watched
all
a
of
bunch. Well, maybe we should take the plunge.
Contribute.
Perfect.
Love it.
So now you guys have been coming to Club Sapphire for a long time, right?
Yeah, about 4 years, I
Yeah,
think.
5.
Okay.
4 or 5, something like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
It depends on if you count 2020, right?
I know.
And that's a question mark. Yeah. We took a year-long break.
Took a break, yeah.
Okay, well, how long have you been in lifestyle?
About 4 or 5 years.
also-
Oh, okay.
4 or 5
So
years,
it was your
yeah.
first day, you just kind of said, let's go to Sapphire, let's just bang other people.
I mean, that's what happened, but that wasn't exactly the plan.
Yeah.
Sometimes things don't go as
Yeah.
planned. They
In a
are
really good way.
We definitely thought we were going to come out and we're going to check out like the 101 and we'll feel it out, see how it goes, and then after the class, you're like, we like it. We'll definitely stick around, see how things go. So, of course, we came empty-handed that night because we didn't know how everything worked yet.
Okay, so how did the original conversation happen? Like when one of you or both of you decided to get into the lifestyle or talk about it?
Well, it started all the way back when we first started dating.
Yeah.
We were casually dating, so non-exclusively, but after a year of non-exclusive where I would go out on a date with another guy and then go back to Dave's place, I finally was like, okay, apparently I really like him. And we had gone and done things, and he had pictures of us up in his apartment, and there were some other gals who he was dating that were like, oh, she's cute. And, do we want to try a threesome? And so that was my first experience with a threesome was through Dave. He introduced me. And so we had a couple of years where we would throw in the random extra, not random, but
Nothing wrong with random.
Not that we're opposed. These happen to be people I knew already.
So we got to have the occasional threesome with another female, and it just hit a point where it was so much work trying to figure out how to use sites in a way that the other person felt like we were being honest and truthful. It wasn't like Dave was sneaking around on me, flirting with other girls. We were trying to get to know folks, and we just also missed nightlife, and so that was where I went, okay, well, let's see what the clubs are like, and let's figure this out. I've heard about this a little bit, and Club Sapphire was certainly a local option. And I was like, oh, a one-on-one class. I love classes and learning. So I was like, okay, I want to learn more about it. Why don't we just go to the class? And I was like, that's all I'm committing to. I'm not committing to staying, but we'll go to the class and learn. And then just, the class and learning more about it and how relaxed and comfortable, and then getting to see the club.
Right.
Just how nice it is. It's not grody. It's not sketchy. Like it was just like a regular nightclub that happened to have some bedrooms.
I think that was the biggest thing is because online, even with swinger sites, like online dating, you're still kind of like, what am I getting myself into?
A lot of people will have these stereotypes of what swinging is from the movies, or they read an article in Playboy in 1977 or whatever it might have been, and that's really not the case at all. It's full of regular people, from every walk of life, every age, every sex, every sex. So there's a few, I promise. Just every walk of life, and that's really one of the big things that we really enjoy about showing other couples on these videos is that it's just everybody, and
We're real
you,
people.
You're real people, and you probably have like regular jobs, and like you're just normal people every day. But when you go out, you like to have fun more than just what you'd regularly see. So you talked about it, and you both just kind of really just jumped on in. And do you talk about it after you play with a couple, or how does that process go?
Yeah.
Well, I
We
guess
definitely have, I mean, we call it like an after action, because
Okay,
your review.
post-coital discussion.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, or frequently like on the drive home, so we met this couple, and whether we played or not, we're like, well, let's talk about some of the people we met tonight. What did you like? What were some things that stood out to you? Things like that. And like every time we're here, we have the drive home chat of what did we like about tonight? We met a lot of great couples, and
Including, did I like the shoes I was wearing that night? Because sometimes at the end of the night, you're like, I am never wearing those shoes to the club again.
Been there for sure.
there are
yeah,
points where
just
you
that-
seemed like you had a good time, but you're like frowning in the car. What's like, no, my feet.
Oh no, you're
Okay,
supposed to bring
okay.
slippers for the drive home.
Yes,
Yes,
I did learn
exactly.
that. I definitely learned
And
that.
it's not just like, because sometimes I would bring just socks or just nothing. Just take the shoes are the first thing off. I think before the seatbelt even goes on,
Yeah.
the shoes come off.
Yeah.
But I've started bringing slippers or at least flip flops like in the summertime
Yeah.
because I don't want to have to put the shoes back on when I get home to get into the house because I will walk barefoot over having to do that back
Yes.
into the house. So
Exactly.
yeah, you gotta have
Exactly.
footwear.
And Bianca likes wearing high heels every single time she comes. In
I do.
fact, we had a whole bunch of stuff scheduled this past Sunday, but she knew she was going to come to the club on Saturday, and so she canceled all of her Sunday stuff because she's like, my feet are going to hurt on Sunday.
Yeah, I was like, not wearing heels is not an option.
And that's a woman who knows herself, right?
Yes.
Know
Yes.
thyself. I'm gonna want a lazy Sunday after
And I was
dolling
very
up.
lazy on Sunday. But I had a great time on Saturday, so it was
Perfect.
worth it.
Saturday was a good night.
But it's
It
a
was
good
a good-
opportunity.
Was it like the most people we've had since
Yes.
we
Yes, that was the
Yeah.
record
It was-
amount of
yeah,
people
it
that have
was
been
very
here.
full.
Yeah, every week is growing, and as
Yeah.
things start to open up more, there's just going to be more people here, and the events are going to get bigger.
Yeah.
So that's exciting because
Yeah.
it started out quiet. People were a little timid to come in. People were a little timid to play, but now the back is crowded,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and everybody's having a really good time.
We
so,
wandered
yeah.
back a couple of times. Like, no, it's every bed.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
All the
people
open
are happy.
ones.
People
Yeah.
are very happy.
People are doing things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you've been doing this for a few years. Now, have you run into any, like, just really crazy situations or weird situations that you've had with other couples, or?
You not at Sapphire, actually. We've always had really good experiences here.
Well, I do
Um,
have one story that I'd like to share just from that sense of like what I really like about the lifestyle, but also the people that I've met here at the club is that level of consent and open conversation and how like things that could feel awkward don't have to be. Because we had an instance where there was a gentleman who had been interested in playing with me, but Dave and I play together. And so then one night he had a date and we were both interested. So we're like, okay, cool. And we had a wonderful time, but just not my style of sex. Like just not my thing.
What do you
Not
mean by
not those. So some people really like to talk through every experience. Some people are really, really quiet. And it's so funny if people who know me socially and I talk a lot. That is not what I'm interested in doing during sex. And so it's just this thing of like, I had a good time, you know, I enjoyed myself. I don't regret the experience, but I had an opportunity to, again, that after action and say, yeah, that just is not something I want to repeat. That's just not my style.
You had played with them, and then you had said that you just flat out said, I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah.
That seems to be one of the most difficult things for people to say
Yeah.
is the no, or no, the no thank you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I hear people use terms like not right now, which, what is your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
So we do hit this in the 101 quite a bit. We are big fans of being honest about whatever it is, but be polite. So in this case, Morgan was very clear that I had a good time. I'm that's not something I want to try again. Like, I once went skydiving. It was fun. I don't regret doing it. I'm probably not going to jump out of a plane again. Like,
You're good.
I tried it.
Yeah.
It turns out there was an adrenaline rush, but that's just not what I was looking for.
Sure.
And so I would compare it to something kind of like that, where like, look, I enjoyed it. It wasn't bad. It's just not something that is my cup of tea.
And that honesty
and
of
being direct
yeah.
about it, where we definitely wouldn't say something like "not right now" or
Maybe another time.
later, unless that's what you actually mean.
Right.
And so this could be even you meet somebody new at the club, and you're chatting, and they're like, "Oh, hey, you wanna go back to the back and play a little bit?" Don't say maybe another time, unless you actually mean maybe another time.
Right.
And there have been plenty of cases where we've had that conversation with somebody, and it's genuinely, I'm not feeling myself tonight. I'm not a
The
but
night
next
that I
week,
drank an entire bottle of Moscato.
No.
pretty much fell asleep
Way
out
too
here.
much sugar.
Nice.
We come back. She's like, I just want a sandwich. I'm trying to sit here and listen.
That was definitely like, next time I'm interested, but right now I am just not feeling it, But
We've been there before too. Not.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's
you've been
hard.
there. You've been there. I'm
You don't
always
drink
ready.
any of
I have
Moscato,
never
yeah.
drank a whole bottle of Moscato on my own.
But it is that sense of we've gotten to this polite point in society where we dodge and go around the bush, right? And it's okay to be honest. You don't have to be rude when you're being honest. You don't have to be like, oh, that was gross and I really never want to do it again. And in my case, luckily it wasn't. It really was wonderful and just not my style.
And you might have hurt his feelings a little bit,
Yeah.
but when it comes down to it, he could immediately go to the person 3 feet to your left. And
I'm saving him time and energy of flirting with me later. That saves us both a whole lot of time and energy to just be clear on that. Where we've met other folks who, my favorite was when our first year, we met some folks who had a 3-meet rule. That they didn't play with anyone until they had met them 3 separate times, not just, I'm going to walk across the room and come back. But it was just really nice to know that and to understand that and to say, okay, that's not what we're looking for tonight. So I'm not just gonna drop the mic and walk away, but I'm gonna give you another 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna move on to meeting someone who maybe is the speed that we're looking for that night. And so it was really nice to just understand where they were coming from. Where other folks who they're here for the ambiance and they're not playing. But yeah, the maybe. And if it is maybe, that's okay. Like, okay, I just met you 5 minutes ago. I don't know. That's okay. But I know in my head, there's no chemistry. I'm not interested. Yeah. But I don't know how to say that politely. That's it takes work. It's a little awkward sometimes until you just get comfortable with the fact that you're not rejecting them, right? But you're freeing them to find someone who is better suited.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not good enough for you. Go talk to them over there.
Find somebody that is more a fit for you.
Yeah.
That's probably a better way to put it than I just said. Yeah.
But I mean, that's the fun part of there's so many fish in the sea, and even the lifestyle, it can feel small in a good way because we get to see a lot of folks that we've seen before. But the lifestyle is huge. Even the membership here is huge. There's new people to meet all the time. And there's so many variations of spectrum of what people are into and with that it's like, find someone your speed and what works for you.
So I have a question. So you two do the 101 and the 201 classes?
Oh, so far.
So so they lead the classes. So you liked the lifestyle so much so that you are
now we're
helping
teaching other
ease
people
everybody else into it.
Yeah.
How do you suggest people go about asking the question of, because I get this often, what are you into? And I don't always know how to answer. First off, we know how awkward I am. When someone comes up to me and says, what are you into? I'm like, I don't understand what you're asking. Are you asking if I want you to stick stuff up my butt? No. Like, I don't understand. The question is a little vague for me.
Yeah.
How do you find out what the couple, and I think that the goal is not to know what you're into per se, but it's like, what are your boundaries as a couple, or how do you ask that without it being awkward?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that when you ask what are you into, my challenge with that is like, well, how long do you have? Like, I'm into a lot of things, but there are certain things I'm not into. And so for us, it's often easier to just talk about what are our boundaries or what are we not interested in.
But is there a better way to ask the question? Like, is that how you ask the question? If you were to meet a new couple, would you say that? What are you into? Or is there a better way to ask?
We actually start by offering.
Mm-hmm.
Because people can feel put on the spot if you ask them, well, what are you into? I'm like, I don't know. But if we offer first, and if we just simply talk about, hey, this is, once we've talked about would you be interested in, or are we feeling the chemistry here, but then getting to talk about what we're into, and then inviting them to share back.
Okay.
That's kind of one of the things.
So I think one of the things that we would do is we wouldn't approach that unless we've already had that kind of hello chat with them of, so we're kind of interested in you guys. What do you feel like? And then if they're interested, then we move on to like what the boundaries are and what sort of things we're into.
Yeah.
Because leading off with that before you've established whether they're interested, then you're like, oh no, I'm just awkward telling you what I'm into, and they're like, no thanks.
For sure.
You definitely feel it out first, and then go further.
Yeah. And we've had times too where before last year we did we've done some fun just vacation in the lifestyle, just with a small group of friends. Let's go rent a condo or rent an apartment somewhere or a house. And sometimes it ends up being a fun mix of not everyone knows each other, or not everyone, maybe they know each other but they haven't actually played together. And you just sitting around post dinner, okay, so let's just go around the circle. What are folks interested in? What are they not interested in? Just trying to get, and the biggest thing is just making it relaxed and casual. You don't have to, sometimes it becomes bigger than it really needs to be.
Yeah.
And so just being a little bit relaxed about it and acknowledging that, this isn't the kind of thing that you chat about in the grocery store on Tuesday.
And we say this understanding that we're obviously comfortable enough that we've been doing this a while, and now we teach the 101, where as a new couple, we absolutely were kind of, we couldn't start that conversation. We were the new couple, like, I don't know how to say this.
Yeah. And we appreciated some of the folks that we got to know initially who were a little bit more experienced, and that was kind of their approach, is that they would say, okay, this is what I'm into, this is what I'm looking for, this is what we do or don't do, depending on, what their guidelines are. And so that felt more open and inviting to say, oh, okay, it's not weird to talk about, do you kiss, or do you do oral, or those types of things. Yeah.
If you would like to come to a 101 class, all you need to do is go to www.clubsapphire.net, check out the page that you can sign up, and then they'll be here. These will be the guys teaching the class.
Probably.
Sometimes we go on vacation.
They let you
That's
do
okay
We're
too.
not here every weekend, but most weekends.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So it's a really great place to just kind of dip your toes in and see how comfortable you would be joining other people, and possibly playing with other people. Who knows? It's just kind of fun to socialize and that type of thing.
They also work behind the bar and make really good mocktails.
Oh, okay.
We
Lots
try.
of fun with that.
We try.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dave and Morgan, we really, really appreciate you coming on here.
Well,
This is
thank
it's
you.
it's
Yeah.
great to see other couples that have been doing this a long time. You seem to be enjoying yourself, and you, like us, you
far.
like to tell other people how great it is. So that's, because there's so many people that want to join the lifestyle all the time. They're curious. I read an article today that talked about something like, it was a crazy number. It was something like 1 out of 3 American couples want to be in some form of
More.
Yeah, I don't. That's a terrible way to say it.
Non-monogamous.
It wasn't non-monogamous, but it was something along those lines where they want more than just the one person. And it was like that's really fascinating. It was that such a large percentage of the population because you don't hear about that.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm impressed that 30% actually admitted to it.
well, yeah, exactly. When they admit it to their spouse, that's
In the blind survey.
yeah. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
you.
And we do hope that you also join us. Again, it's www.clubsapphire.net. Check out all the amazing events that are coming up soon. And anything else you want to say, Bianca?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. See ya.
See ya.